Yep, that's the issue. That was the issue. Somebody throw me in the chat. Make sure you see if you can hear me now. I didn't have a plug pushed in all the way. There we go. I didn't have a plug pushed in all the way. Ah. All right. So real quick, we just went through a whole deal, but just real quick, we're thankful for each of you who are here and that have found us via the replay. We're excited for each of you that are on this journey of expansion. We're excited for the opportunity to be of support and or support you in accelerating the process through this interaction. And if you find value here, be sure to check the description for our conscious discussions where we are have live conversations via Zoom. It is free. These offerings are for you to get to know us, get to know kind of how we, the feel and flow of who we are, what we're doing. And if you're inspired to delve deeper and to be in more closer contact, you can look more deeper into what we offer that you can see how potentially you can accelerate your process of growth and expansion, speed up the journey of enlightenment for you and the discovery, rediscovery of who you are in source to be able to live your life more and more free of fear, yielding the ability to act on your inspirations without hesitation. And if that makes sense to you, you're probably one who would benefit immensely from our close contact opportunities. Our topic, again, today is tradition. Your traditions may be an anchor. They may be holding you apart from source. So let's talk about it. Tradition. When you think about tradition as a whole idea, you talk about, you think about things that people do that they were taught to do, reasons that people are, that they were taught were the reasons that they should be. You think about how mom and dad did things, what they believed. You may not even know why, but all you know is what was modeled, what they did, and in the circumstance that they did it. This is what we do on Thanksgiving, right? On Thanksgiving, when Benny was growing up, his grandparents, his dad's parents were alive and they lived across the field, is the description. And all of their children and all of their families, a large part of his dad's children, and these are grown adults with families, would come home to that area and they would all get together on Thanksgiving Day. People would come in sometimes the night before, sometimes the day of, and you're talking about 30, 40, 50 people, adults and children, sometimes there's other family members, and they would get together at the grandparents' house, eat, fellowship, hang out, remember, love, hugs, welcomes to newborns, children that haven't been seen in a long time, spouses or partners that have occurred during the previous year that may be coming up and visiting also. An extreme event with lots of food, sometimes watching sporting events that may be going on that day. You know how those things begin to tag along on the Thanksgiving holiday. But this was a tradition. Similar on Christmas, Christmas Day, Christmas evening. Similar type of situation. And many of you have traditions, things that the family did on those holidays and that you have continued. Now, because people make their transition, things change, but you still may be doing similar things, even if it's in your own home, or maybe you go to a different home. The setup, the feel, the processes is the same. It's what you were taught, it's what was modeled to you. Now, When we talk about traditions, we're not just talking about holidays or big events. Tradition can also be, and in this context, can also be how individuals dealt with frustration, how individuals dealt with painful circumstance. What was modeled? What was the example? What was the norm of just everyday living? Was it joy? Was it excitement? Was there passion for moving toward that which is intended, that which was desired? Or was it majority frustration? Was it majority a stressful circumstance in which success was always just out of reach, in which circumstance always seemed to win? These are traditions as well. You might want to call them normal happenings. But the question is, where do these ideas lodge? Where do these ideas find their home that they become the normal approach, the normal thought patterns, the beliefs of those that come after, of those who were modeled to? These ideas get stored in the mind and body. If you observe mother, father, family in a difficult circumstance or a traumatic circumstance and they do not handle it well, if there's extreme frustration, if there's extreme anger, then that process of handling circumstances, what you are taught as how you go about it. And as an adult, many of you know that this direction of handling or approaching or interpreting circumstances not the highest, not the best, and yes, and yet you cannot choose differently. And it's because these ideas are dominant in the mind, and that you saw these traditional happenings, these reoccurring happenings over and over again, and you were conditioned through repetition. And sometimes, traumatic events can happen one time. And if the emotion is high enough, boom, it can be lodged in your body in that one event. And then, if never changed, one can be guided by the idea that was sown based on that one event. And it's because of the high, powerful emotion that's tagged with an idea. Many of those individuals who were, as a child, riding with adults in their family, and a traumatic event occurred when a transfer truck was very close to them on the highway. They didn't have an accident or anything. It just was a scary moment. Kind of looked like the transfer truck was moving over toward them. But ever since that single event, they have carried that fear, that hesitation that causes them to hesitate when they're on the highway, when they're in the vicinity of a transfer truck, right? Penny tells the story of his mother's spaghetti casserole. She had fixed spaghetti casserole one evening, and after dinner, after having laid down, he got sick, vomiting and that type thing as a child. And he tagged the pain of the sickness with the vomiting and that experience. Now, was mom's spaghetti casserole the issue? No, he had a stomach virus. He was in school, he's around other kids, and he had been passed the virus that lasted maybe a couple of days and it was gone. But that circumstance got tagged to his mother's spaghetti casserole. And so he was able to avoid, not eat, didn't want her spaghetti casserole for almost a year before he decided to try just a little bit and then realized that, hey, I survived. Traditions. Traditions are sown. Traditions are modeled. Traditions are observed, and the examples are taken in without question, especially as a child, without question. There's no question. It's just, okay, this is the truth. Because those closest to you have modeled this behavior, have modeled these thought processes, these beliefs, and they are taken in as truth without the contrast of, hey, everybody doesn't think this way. Everybody doesn't behave this way. Everybody doesn't believe this way. So now that I see that everybody doesn't do things this way, let me as an individual decide what is the highest and best. What brings me closer to the outcome or the experience that I actually desire? So, even going deeper, when you talk about, for those of you who are here and for those of you who find this recorded and actually watch it through to the end, we know that you are, this journey is a priority for you. Let's go to the idea of the truth of you in source. Those of you who have realized that the point as you were on this plane of existence is releasing and not adding to. You're not, this journey is not about adding anything to you. It's about releasing that which is clouding, separating you from the truth of you, which is immensely powerful, of which would command the life experiences that are intended and would not entertain anything else other than that single idea. That version of you that exists in higher frequency, higher tones with consistency, that is what this process is about. That's what this journey is about. For those of you who are entertaining this type of information, you are on your way back to the truth of you. And the states of being, the vibrational expressions, the energy expressions, the emotional expressions that you have been conditioned to, the tradition of low vibration that may have been the norm in your growing and up environment may be separating you from that which you are intending, from the direction that you are going, which is the rediscovery of the truth of you in source. Take a minute and in a high frequency, from a high frequency perspective, no judgment, none of that stuff. And just from a detached position, look, observe, think about your growing up. Was it high vibration? Was high vibration the dominant? Or was it otherwise? Or was it the roller coaster that you remember? Or which one was dominant? Was there more stress and strain and pain? Was there an abundance of lack and scarcity? Were there broken relationships? All of those type things. You know what energy those are born from. What was the norm? What was the tradition? That you don't think of tradition in that sense, but it's tradition nonetheless. What was the tradition of the family? And when you look from that perspective, you may see, if you're old enough, you may see, wow, this kind of goes back generations. The same type experiences, which makes sense, right? If ideas are being passed down, if ideas are being transferred just through the observing, just through the modeling of the adults in the family, parents in the family, if ideas are being passed just through the modeling, through the exampling, then that which is experienced or seen in close proximity of the family now probably was observed, probably could be observed as you go back. But nobody sees that. And you're definitely not going to see it if you're looking at it through a low vibrational lens. You have to be detached. You have to be in a high frequency state of observation to see, wow, yeah, I'm actually, my experience is exactly very similar to that of my parents. And wow, I can see how the similarities of my parents' experience to their parents' experience. Tradition being passed down, ideas, ideas that are now dominant, that are dictating thought patterns, that are dictating feeling states, that are dictating language and behaviors that are being revealed as experience. The integrative process is always at work, and that which you are expressing through the integrative process is what is revealed. You ever heard the saying about that which is in the dark is always brought to light? It's not talking about evil deeds and bad things. That's the norm of what comes to mind. Somebody's doing something wrong, and so it's eventually going to be found out. It's talking about that which is on the inside of a person is revealed through their experience, their thoughts. And you can hear the representation of their thoughts in their language, in their speech, what they talk about. That's what they believe in. Or do they believe in lack and scarcity? Do they believe in failure? Do they believe that they're not enough? Is it a value thing? Or is all of that combined together? Or do they believe that they are enough? Do they believe that all things are working out for them? Do they believe that they are health? Do they believe that they are just brilliant? Do they believe in themselves? Do they believe that they are a winner? Do they believe that they are successful before they see any evidence of it? You can hear it in a person's language. You can hear their thought patterns. You can hear their beliefs in their language. And the strongest of the strong don't participate in conversations that are not of that which they intend to believe and intend to experience. The strongest of the strong don't participate in conversations that are in opposition to what they desire to experience. It takes a strong person to be in the midst of family and choose not to participate in a conversation, choose not to entertain the thought. Now, when you have time and you take a moment in your meditation and you, from a high frequency space, in that perspective, look into your family history that you can remember and notice the traditions that are being passed down. And this is not a judgmental thing. This is an awareness thing. This is an empowerment thing because what you find, well, you may find the evidence of that which needs to be transformed within you if you are desiring a different experience. And you also have to be aware that, you know, as a simple example, you don't know what your idea or your beliefs are of marriage until you become married or in that type of relationship. You don't know your ideas or beliefs around money until money becomes a priority in your life. You don't know your ideas or beliefs around health and well-being until it becomes an issue or until you make it a priority. When you make the highest of health and well-being a priority, it immediately shines the light on that which you are believing that opposes that idea, that opposes that intention. That's the first thing that you see. And that's where the journey begins. That's where the process begins of transforming. Hey, I got to transform. I got to take care of these ideas that are separating me from the highest health and well-being that I'm intending. For that's the only thing that's separating you from it. I intend to be more active. I can intend to work out, but I always start working out and then I stop. You have ideas that are separating you from that being your norm. I intend to make healthier food choices, and yet 3, 4 months later, you're still participating in the cookies and all of those things that are not the highest, not promoting of the highest health and well-being. You have ideas that are not consistent with that which you are intending. That's where the play and practice is. Getting the mind and body aligned with your intention. And then even further than that, getting the mind and body aligned with the truth of you and source. The dominant ideas of the truth of you and source. The frequency expression of the truth of you and source. The truth of you and source is not carrying your traditions. The truth of you and source is not entertaining ideas of lack and scarcity. The truth of you and source is not entertaining low vibration. It's not born of low vibration. It's born of frequencies and tones that you can't hold fully in your physical state. You can approach it, but you can't hold it fully. The play and practice is to get as close as you can. Notice your traditions. Notice that which you have been conditioned to, that which has been programmed into you. And then from there, notice whether it is leading you toward where you're going, supporting you and moving toward that which you are intending, or if it is separating you from that which you are intending. This is the play and practice. If you have any questions or comments or inspired to anything as a result of this interaction that you would like us to speak on, just throw it in the chat. All right. Thank you, Catherine. She says, Abraham, why are the observations as a child so powerful? I've noticed my oldest patterns I'm working on are from childhood. Okay, we'll start with how you put it, and then we will offer a suggestion on that. The ideas that are sown or that are implied and sown into one as a child, and we're talking about that which separates you, not that which is beautiful and amazing, but anything that might separate you, often are sown from circumstance of high emotion. It's the high emotion that makes something seem big or powerful or difficult. But it's not difficult to cut into it, but the strength of that idea is what you're referring to. And it's because of the emotion that's tagged with the idea. Now, so the play and practice is to make sure you're getting to the root of the idea, the imagery that is sown, and the feeling, the emotion that's tagged to it. And you know, if you've been around with us for a while, the your inner being, you know that your inner being will take you anywhere you want it to go. Anywhere you want to go, your inner being will show you anything that you're capable of asking for. So when you know that you can ask your inner being in your meditation, what is the source of this experience? What is the idea? I want to know the idea and the energies associated to it so that I can transform it and remake myself. Your inner being will take you there. But until you know that, you have these ideas that are tagged with strong emotion. And now, once those ideas have come online as dominant for an individual, now you have them materializing as experience, which continues to reinforce and re-sow that idea. If you're talking about experience that is undesired, then every time it shows up, the individual is frustrated, they're possibly angry, and those energies are the perfect energies to continue to fuel the idea. And now, once you have this loop going, this loop of experience and then inner experience, outer experience, inner experience, In between the times of the outer experience materializing, the person is seeing the thoughts, feeling the feelings of that exact experience, just like it's in the present moment. And they're actually living it in the present moment, just not externally, but internally. So that is reinforcing the idea over and over again, even when the experience is not materialized, but it is driving the materialization of the experience, which continues to fuel the cycle and reinforce the idea. Now, once you know all of this is true, one of the first things you can start doing, is to begin to tell yourself that this is easy. This idea is small, it's weak, it's easy to transform ideas, to recreate myself, and that's what I'm doing, right? And when you're entertaining that idea and you're making those type comments, you're in a different vibrational state that begins to affect that idea without you doing anything, right? If you bring or entertain an idea of an undesired experience into high frequency, into excitement, I see you, I'm aware of the idea now, and that's exciting because I know now I can go about the process of easily transforming it, easily removing it, and recreating myself. Just the language alone. The language is born of the higher vibration, the higher frequency, the excitement for now your awareness has brought that idea into your conscious awareness in which you can see it inwardly, knowing that that is sourcing this experience, and now you can change it. So bringing that idea into higher frequency begins to affect it off the bat. But the language, I am weakening it. This is a small idea, and it is easy to release. Can you see how that begins to change things almost immediately? The minute you represent something that's big or is powerful, it is. And that implies that implies work and extreme effort to do whatever it is you want to do, need to do. And your inner being represents it that way as well because that's what you're believing. And so in that sense, it makes sense that it may take a long time to release an idea when in truth if you say that it's easy to release, this is small, it's weakening right now, and I easily release ideas, old patterns, and establish new ones that are more in alignment with where I'm going. When you say that, you make that your truth. This thing is delicate. This process is delicate. It's very delicate. It's very sensitive to who you are being and what you believe. If you believe you can be, and do amazing things, that's what you'll do. If you don't believe you're capable of doing, being, and doing amazing things, then that will be true. It's highly sensitive, which is why it's so important, imperative to be aware of your thoughts more and more, of what you believe more and more. Not in a sense of a specific idea, but what you believe about yourself and what you're capable of. Now, those ideas affect and influence that, but our suggestion is to begin to play with how big can you see yourself? How amazing can you see yourself? How perfect can you believe that you are? How excellent can you believe that you are? And notice what begins to come up that is in conflict with those ideas. We hope that helped. Hello. All right. Does anyone else have any questions or comments or are inspired in any way based on that which has been discussed? All right, let's see. This is Madeline. All right, greetings, dear ones. Awesome. I've been asked to move out of the house I am currently living with my children and pets. Do you have any advice for me at the moment regarding the experience? Absolutely. Absolutely. As much as you can, see this shift that is occurring in your experience as perfect for you. Immediately begin to get clear on that which you are intending as a result of the shift. Immediately get clear on that which you are intending as a result of this shift that is occurring. Try your best to keep yourself in the highest frequency, the highest vibrational state. And once you have done everything that you can do as far as taking responsibility for who you are on the inside in relationship to this experience, allow the pages to turn and know that they are turning in your favor. We have individuals right now who are in the accelerator, who are having not the exact experience, but they are having experiences based on their intentions, and they are growing in the intending and expecting on the inside, and then allowing the pages to turn. Sometimes it doesn't look great in the middle of the story, right? If you're reading a book and you have the protagonist and the antagonist, and for a while it looks like the antagonist is about to win, but the story's not over. Let the pages turn and notice how things begin to show up based on what you're intending. It's critical that you set your intention. Don't spend any time in the perception that this is a bad thing. Don't spend any time there because it requires a certain vibrational state. Set your intention. Get clear on your intention. Be in the highest energy. Be excited for the change. We know that sounds weird. We know that sounds illogical. We know that's not the norm of the conditioning, but it's what you can control inwardly. The creative process is inward, is on the inside. It's what you can control, and that's why it's important. Get clear on that which you are intending now based on this coming experience. And as much as you can, be in a high vibrational state, excited for what's to come as the pages turn. And then watch and look for the evidence of your intention. Watch and look for the evidence of your intention. The only thing you can do is take responsibility, own, and utilize the inner creative process and its faculties in the highest fashion, and point all of those faculties in the direction of that which you desire. And don't entertain or allow your mind and body to entertain any other options. That's our suggestion. Does that make sense for you based on where you are now on this journey? Absolutely. Absolutely. Right? It's the only it's what you can be, it's what you are and can be. We know you know that now. But it's the only thing truly that the individual is responsible for and can take full. It's the place of power. It's the place of power. The only reason that individuals don't and haven't fully realized it yet is because of the conditioning. It's because of the things there that are in conflict with the knowing and the understanding that they have believed to be the norm. But that's the process of the releasing, the letting go. And the more you release and let go, the more you realize. the more you become aware of the truth of who and what you are. You have an inner creative process. That is what you can be in control of. That is your place of power. Mastering those faculties means you're in command of the mind, in command of that which you intend to believe, taking responsibility for your thought processes and how you feel, and then pointing all of those in the direction of intended experience with greater and more increasing with ever increasing strength in the ability to only entertain that which you intend, no matter what's happening, no matter what page you are on in any story or any happening that has materialized in front of you. You may find that this circumstance at this moment for you, when you look back 6 months from now, was the most excellent and the most perfect thing that could have happened. It's possible. Now we know it probably doesn't feel like that in the moment, but in 6 months looking back, and you see the string of events that occurred, especially if you are able to hold firm to your intention, and then you take inventory of the string of events that occur, the people that you meet, the opportunities that present themselves as a result of this circumstance. It may be a plus for you and not a minus. But it comes back to what you believe. Do you expect things to work out? Do you know things are always working out? And that they have always worked out based on your level of belief and intention. And once you truly become aware and accept the fact that the integrative process is always in motion and that you can command it and take full responsibility for it, and that you have seen the evidence of taking that responsibility, then the question is, what can't I bring into form? How much bigger can I play the game of my life from an abundance standpoint, from a living arrangement standpoint, from a career or business standpoint? How much bigger can I play now that I have proven to myself that the integrative process responds to me? These are the questions. These are the potentials. These are the possibilities. Thank you for allowing us to be of support in this present moment circumstance. Be empowered. Be excited. That changes the energy. Be empowered. Be excited. Know that which you intend and only entertain those thoughts. Awesome. Awesome. And thank you very much. Thank you very much. Not resisting it because. Okay. Yes, yes, I am not resisting it because resisting to change is resisting to life. And as you will say, things are always working out for me. Absolutely. And stay in that vibration, stay in that feeling state as often as you can. One of the playful things that we have offered and that we have done with people for a period of time is just sit in your phone. And this is not for any particular manifestation or because of a potential experience that has materialized. This is just because you can, and just because alignment is alignment. And that is sit in your phone. Set your phone for an hour. And then every time your phone goes off, establish yourself in a higher frequency state. Whether you do it by thinking of your favorite color, singing your favorite song, or playing it on your phone, thinking about a favorite vacation location or a favorite scenery or whatever that you experience, or a favorite movie or a favorite time you was with friends, whatever it is that lifts your spirits, gets you into a higher vibrational state, set your phone and use that as a tool just to be and know you are in alignment, in a higher vibrational state. Not for anything particular that you're trying to create, but just to be in a higher vibrational state. You are conditioning yourself to that state of being. And in that space, you're in alignment with what? You're in alignment with everything that is of like frequency. And that, you know, can't be anything wrong with that. Thank you very much for, again, allowing us to be of support with this present moment circumstance that is perfect for you at the moment. Perfect way to practice and get even stronger in your resolve to be intentional and resistance free. Not resistance free, but to be intentional and to be aligned with that intention, no matter what the material, the data looks like that is currently coming into your physical senses. Know that that's not true. The only thing that is true is that which I am holding. The only thing that is true, the only thing that can be true is that which I am intending. And everything that is showing up, I'm expecting that it begins to mirror that which I am intending in the most beautiful fashion for me. And you can watch literally over the days and the weeks, things begin to shift and show up in relationship to that which you are offering as an expression. It has to, because that's the nature of your plane of existence. Awesome. Anyone else? Questions, comments, or having been inspired to this point? If not, we thank you again very much for allowing us to be of support. Thank you for participating in this interaction with your energies, those who are here now live and those who have found this recording. Well, thank you very much. This is so powerful. This interaction through through a chat mechanism. And this is why we're so excited and we want to throw an emphasis on if you find value in this interaction, follow the link in the description, and if you are inspired, participate in our live conversations via Zoom. Those are free as well, once again, and even more powerful that we are able to dialogue and not have to type the dialogue. But again, thank you, thank you, thank you. We love you very much. And this week we have on schedule to be here with this on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We have our conscious discussion on Wednesday. If you are inspired, we will see you again. If you're not inspired this week, we love you all the same. Everyone have a fantastic day, and we will talk to you soon.